Let me move to the second part in the interest of the time, which is really about asking, let's get a little spiritual here. Let's ask ourselves a question. What is, if you're saying getting real with virtual reality, what is reality? Let's just ponder about on it for a second. So my sort of life sort of surrounds around two women in my life, my daughter and my wife. So I'll give you my daughter example. So the other day, I think we were in Phoenix Mall or one of these malls, a sort of shoe shop. And my daughter pointed me to this lady who was visually challenged. So she was helping her husband sort of select the shoes. If you'll pick up a shoe, just touch it, sense it, and say, no, this is not nice, pick something else. The husband sort of moved on, and she said, wait, why are you going? Just hold on, let's try something out. It seemed like she was actually seeing her experience of reality, and reality as sort of specific as selecting a footwear that you want to buy. It was as real. The reality was not visual, but she was seeing, using the sense of smell, using the sense of hear, using the sense of texture. So really, the question really is, what is real? And I think reality is, and I was sort of kidding about sort of getting spiritual about it. I think if you look at technically, physically, really, reality is inside our minds. Our eyes are nothing more than the lens on the camera that just captures the light, but reality is created in your mind. Okay? And what is happening, in fact, let me come back to this. What is happening is, with virtual reality, humans are giving you access to your mind, to their minds in the platter. Because when you're wearing a virtual reality headset, you're shutting off all reality, right? And you're immersing themselves in the reality that you are going to create. And that reality is the reality that their mind is creating. You've seen those videos about, right? Those videos about somebody wearing this virtual reality headset, and you are at the end of the cliff, and you're seeing this, and the friend comes from behind and just pushes you. And you can see the guy going crazy as if he's dying. Because once you've worn the headset, unless you are really trying to be very strong-willed guy and say, no, I know I'm not, you try hard, and after, if it's a good experience, after 5, 10, 15, 20 seconds, you are immersed in that reality. That is the reality. So, the second point about getting real is understand this reality that the consumers are going to give their consciousness, their reality to you in a platter, and therefore, how do you design for them? That is the second reality. And I was excited to sort of hear during the introduction, there are a bunch of designers out here. And I sort of believe it's not about being designers. If you have to work in the virtual reality, it is going to be a code plus design discipline, right? It is going to be the left brain, right brain sort of that you need to bring together if you are to try and build those experiences. So let's talk for whatever 5 or 7 minutes are left. Let's talk about the second element of sort of getting real. It's about how do you design for this new challenge where somebody is given their minds on a platter to you, as opposed to just eye and this much of sort of direct vision, which is what you deal with. And even that is a complex space, and people don't sort of get it. So first of all, understand that when you are sort of creating a virtual reality experience, there is a real world that is associated with it. So if I'm sort of in the real world walking down the ledge, and if I cross there, I fall. So the reality that you create, you no longer have the luxury of creating this beautiful design of a website or a game or a mobile app where you can sort of do whatever you can do in that space. Because your experience are going to be immersed in a reality. And you cannot play unless you're sort of building a game where you're trying to show a new world where the physics world differently. In a real world, the reality has to be the same. If you're creating an education application or an interior design application or learning application or training application, the reality around has to be real. So you need to know your physics. You need to know the physical reality. about how reality works, because the mind has sort of given up or said, okay, I believe in the new reality that you're saying. Now don't screw with me. I have lived on this planet for 35 years and I know what happens when I walk. I know what happens when I move, and I know what happens when you don't start breaking physics and it will screw me up. Already people are getting crazy enough getting into this virtual reality experience, and sometimes they sort of come out and they don't know what to do. So you need to know your physics. You need to, even if you're immersing an individual in a new reality, when I'm going to move around, I'm going to move in the real world. If I take step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, I bang into this chair. So you need to be, when you create the real world, you're going to have this constraint, unless it is a sitting kind of experience, where you need to be physically aware. What the Project Tangos of the world are doing, in other ways of detecting. I think the early experiments of sort of giving you a physical coordinates is very limited. It's about a sort of detailed knowledge of the real world. And then you have to create your virtual world. If I'm, for example, I'm creating a shopping experience where you can walk around and see the product and see what the calorie content is and the price is, and you're walking around. And if I'm wearing the headset and I'm doing that while I'm in the stores, the reality still has to guide the new design. If the aisle ends here, in the virtual world, you will have to create something that ends here. So this knowledge of physical reality and how you build your design, superimposing this physical reality, is going to be a very important design consideration. The audio design, right? So again, I'm saying beyond those initial excitement of putting the headset and, hey, this is wonderful experience, it will only work that if you sort of force the mind to submit to this new reality. And therefore, you'll have to know your audio engineering. You need to know how audio works. You need to design for the eye. And this is very different. The space of designing for the eye for a 2D screen medium is very limited, and itself is very complex. So when I'm watching, what is my field of vision? Okay, what happens when something comes close to me, it gets blurred? What happens when I'm looking at you, this view is getting blurred, right? What is the convenient vision? I can just move my head slightly here and slightly there, I can see it. Okay, most VR experience that you see, etc., you'll hear a voice and people are moving their heads, and after some time you get tired. So how do you design experiences where you sort of design for the convenience of vision? Very, very important. And then other very important part, you have to design not just for the physical space, you have to design for the social space. I have impersonal space. If you come very close to me, I get uncomfortable. The reality is going to be no different in the virtual world. If you design your characters, how far they should be, what's the right sort of personal space, and how should you respect that to create these convenient experiences. And finally, and perhaps I have a couple of more thoughts. Another thing that I think virtual realities give you is individuals are going to offer another emotion, which is available to you when you design normal media, is empathy. I mean, empathy is an important consideration in everything, but we are so used to, we see pain, suffering, violence, everything that we see on the TV, even we just move on. It doesn't seem to have that much impact. But when a journalist does a news reporting, and in a virtual world, you experience the news by immersing yourself in that reality, where an earthquake has happened, the level of empathy it is going to sort of create is going to be a factor of magnitude higher than what it would be. So it's an important characteristic that is available, so you've got to design for empathy. And then another important dimension is that reality doesn't have drop frames, right? You can watch an audio and it distorts, you can see it, you can see a text and one letter is missing, it's okay. Video, something skips, you can still do it. But you're in reality. If you're not designing your system, now I'm talking about core technology, about scalability, about performance, and the reality sort of starts skipping frames, the mind is going to go crazy. That illusion of the new world is going to disappear. So you've got to make sure that you design for that. And finally, I was thinking, and it sort of links beautifully well with the first presentation, is design. So today all these design tools are the same as they were yesterday, and I don't have any concrete answer of what it should be. But this is something that bothers me, is that when you're designing for the current world, you can sort of sit outside the design studio and you can design the world. But when the user is going to come inside, user is going to experience this world from infinite angles. And it's simply impossible for you to sort of intellectually interpolate and interpret everything about what will happen in each scene and how it will look top quality from each. So perhaps there is an opportunity for those of you in the tool business to start rethinking about how the tools for virtual reality, the design environments have to be done. The ideal environment should be that the designer should be inside the tool. What it means, figure out. I think there is exciting innovation to be had so that you can sort of design it from the perspective of end user. So I'll take a pause here. Summary, I think super exciting space, mind-boggling opportunities. I think the technology landscape is very fast evolving. Some of you had this concern about devices, quality, bulkiness. Don't worry about it. We have sort of reached that level of sort of growth here, whereas the market becomes real and real dollars start filling in, you will evolve it very fast. So tools will become better, technologies will become better. Get real, focus on real problem statements and be unconstrained there about what you want to solve. And then as you start solving, start partnering with the right people and technology solutions will emerge. And second, I think a big space and big opportunities for many of your design professionals. In fact, I will encourage all developers who want to be in this space to sort of build yourself as developers plus designers, and there's a great opportunity. Thank you very much.
I think there should be more questions. Kindly set up the presentation. Questions, yeah. Getting the mic here first.
So you mentioned that in machine building, augmented reality and virtual reality can be used. So Dakri is a company like I think based in Israel or something. So they are building a virtual headset where you can interact with the machine and you can get actual measurements.
Yeah, absolutely.
So what are your comments?
No, absolutely. I think so. What is going to happen is this. So simple term. The technology, I think, is already evolving from being tethered to a computers to the new virtual reality headsets that are coming out, which have all the computing inside, to a situation where when the problem of bandwidth over wireless is solved, you have much lighter glass kind of displays where computing can be wirelessly done, etc. So I think this form factor will keep getting crunched. The second element about, and one element that I didn't discuss about, is the element of haptics. Real virtual reality will happen where I'm sort of walking in and I see a bottle and I just pick it. And already a lot of innovation is happening in haptic gloves with pressure sensors. So when I'm trying to hold a virtual bottle, these gloves are putting the right pressure, exactly the same way the pressure physically applied when I do that. So I actually feel like I'm picking it. My wife was telling me that I will not say an experience is good unless I can sort of feel that I'm walking on the beach. I need to have the same experience. So I think with sensors, body suits, different kind of these things, it will become real. Already, by using innovative different pointers, etc., people are sort of making it possible to interact. But I think that's all intermediate stage. The real end stage is I will not have anything here. I will not have any headset. Using brain-computer interface, whatever new reality is going to be fed in. My eye is going to make by camera. In between, there will be class of technologies, and each will be better than other. The others will be obviously these sensors. And obviously, when you can reach the level of brain-computer interfaces, then you can do away with even these gloves and everything, etc. Because you just tell the brain, make this fool feel like
input by thought.
By thought only, absolutely.
Thank you very much.